family. How's everyone doing? Good. So, welcome back to another Faithful Friday Sabbath Class, okay? And so, we're going to continue with our reading of the book of the Wisdom of Solomon. We're going to pick things back up in chapter 3 and verse 11, okay? So, book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, and actually, I'll start at verse 10, read from there. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, and verse 10, and it reads, "But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord." So the ungodly are those who are not moving in a godly way according to the Most High that can be found through the reading of the scriptures, okay? And it's let us know that they're going to be punished, okay? They're going to receive a reward according to their works, which because it's been contrary to the Most High God, it's going to be things that ultimately you don't really want to receive, okay? Because it's nothing that is meant to be good. It's meant to be bad, okay? Painful, miserable. And so according to their own imagination. So according to their own imagination, not necessarily in terms of that these are the punishments they're thinking to be done unto them, but because of all of the things that they've thought of and have taken action to do or speak on that is not right, they have to be held accountable for all of those things that they've chosen to speak on or do or commit. And so it says, which have neglected the righteous. So instead of dealing with the righteous according to the law, they've treated the righteous as pretty much this sullied rag, this thing to be disregarded instead of the honor that the Most High God says we are to give them, and how ultimately we're supposed to deal with one another. They're not dealing righteously. So, and it says ultimately, reading the latter end of it, and forsaking the Lord. To forsake is to abandon. You've abandoned the Most High. So now verse 11, "For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable." So let me break this down in parts. So whoso despises wisdom and nurture, that wisdom is supposed to be the application of the Most High God's laws. That nurture is that grooming and teaching of the Most High God's laws, and being able to have that tutelage. And then that wisdom is the application of that information. That's what it's doing. But if you despise those things, you reject those things, I don't want those things, it says he is miserable. Okay? Now, why is this person miserable? Because they've chosen not to apply the Most High God's laws. They're not being filled with the Most High's Holy Spirit. And through a lack of having that Holy Spirit, you're now spiritually void of righteousness, but you're still being filled with something. You're being filled with that spirit of uncleanness, that spirit of wickedness. That's what's filling your temple. And because you're having adverse and unclean and wicked spirits fill your temple, they're never satisfied. And because they're never satisfied, you're always left wanting or desirous of more. So even though you're getting various things, it's still not enough. So you're still unsatisfied, therefore you're unhappy, therefore miserable. Okay, that's where it's getting at. So now, it says, "But whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable. And their hope is vain." Their hope, specifically, is vain. Why? Because hope is supposed to be something you look forward to, that's supposed to be helpful, positive, reassuring, comforting. So things that can help save you. But now their hope is vain, is worthless, because what they're ultimately going to have coming to them are things that are going to be painful, miserable, so tormenting. None of that are things you want to look forward to. So it's not anything good that's ultimately going to come your way, okay? So, and it says, "and their labor is unfruitful." So even though they're working, they're doing things, but the works that you're doing are not righteous. The works you're doing are not things that the Most High is going to bless. Satan will bless them. Doesn't mean that they won't be blessed. Satan will bless them, but it's temporary. The Most High is going to take it all away at the end of the day, whenever he decides that end is. Not only at the end of this world, but also when he says, now these things are going to start to go downhill for you. Now, that person, they're going to cease to prosper. Even though Satan allowed you to prosper for some time, I'm telling him, that one, that's it for that one. Most High decides that case by case, person by person. So now, it says the works unprofitable, okay? That the thing they're doing, it's not truly going to profit them. And that's not to say that they can't be successful or find some success in this world. That's not what it's saying. It's ultimately saying that you're not going to be able to profit in terms of you having success in terms of salvation in the world to come. It's not going to profit you. So when judgment day comes, it's not going to profit you with the things you've been doing to be able to aid you closer to the kingdom. It's not going to help you. It's going to work against you because you've been doing things contrary to the Most High. Verse 12, their wives are foolish. And it's explaining. It's still, that colon is still explaining from what we left off in verse 11. It says their wives are foolish and their children wicked. It's a domino effect from the men to the women to the children. It's let you know that you're having a perpetual level of wickedness stemming from the men, the women, and the children. It's all being passed down. The whole lot is becoming tainted, okay, and they're not cleansing it the way that they should. Verse 13, their offspring is cursed, okay, and it's still explaining that, well, how are the wise foolish and how are their children wicked? It's still explaining. So their offspring is cursed, wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which have not known the sinful bed. So now when it says their offspring is cursed, even still explaining, and this is wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which have not known the sinful bed. That's not just barren in terms of, I can't have, that's barren in terms of I haven't been intimate. I haven't been having these sexual, I'm unmarried. I'm a widow. I haven't been in these types of situations. It's saying, man, you better off being in that case, even though some may make fun of you, mock you, tease you. That's the actual better blessing than to be in a situation where you're having these children out of wedlock, as some may say. You're having these children in places to where there's no stability. They don't have a family structure. You're bringing them into literally cursed conditions where they may not know who both of my parents are. Some in case I don't know my mother or my father. I was abandoned. I was left at a fire station, or my grandmama raised me. My grandfather raised me. My uncle raised me. I didn't know my parents, or I didn't know my father. I didn't have a father figure in my life. I didn't get to have that. That is a curse, not a blessing. That is a curse. So now, it's saying, which had not known the sinful bed, even that too, she shall have fruit in the visitation of her souls. Even though she may not have that now, it's okay. And the visitation of souls being when the Most High God comes and judges the earth. If you've been righteous, even if you may not have had husband and children in this world, that's okay. The Most High can give it to you in the world to come. You can still have that, and it can be blessed and it can be fruitful. So better to have that then than to be in a situation where you fall prey to baby mama and baby daddy drama, and that being your life of situation, or you fall into places where you're not making sound judgments concerning who you're taking on to be with, and you're going even in the truth. You have a situation, you married this one, but now that one departed, had a child, and then now you may not have done as good due diligence on the next one. Next one departed, and you have a lot of situations that it's not good. It's not good. You don't want that. Verse 14 says, and blessed is the eunuch. So it's now saying the same thing with the man. It's given now the opposite. So now it's blessed the woman who, hey, she hasn't been with man at the end. Same with the man, a eunuch. And a eunuch doesn't necessarily mean a man who has his privy member, cut off, but a man who has rather chosen to abstain from women. Okay, he doesn't necessarily have to make a vow, which I would not encourage one to do, because that's very heavy. But rather let your yeas be yeas, your nays be nays, as Christ says in the New Testament. But understanding some because of the responsibilities or the stress that I've chosen rather not to involve myself with a woman. Okay, I've chosen not to do that. That's okay. Not everyone is marriage material. Not every man is husband material. That's the reality. Not every woman is wife material. That's the reality. So some people are better off left single. And if you force marriage on them, you can have a bad time, both parties, because it's like, hey, I wasn't ready to make these changes, and this other person is, hey, I don't like the product that I have to deal with on a regular basis. So you can save yourself a lot of headache and say, nah, I'm content. I don't necessarily need that realm of love and affection in that regard. I can do without. And instead, I can devote more of my time and energy to the Most High God in the serving of the ministry. That's beautiful. That's fine. You have others that move like that. Most notably, the one whom the world knows is Jesus Christ, Hamashiach Yahushua, and also Paul as well. Saul, who became Paul. Same thing. They lived as eunuchs. They didn't involve themselves with the affairs of women. That can be a blessing for many. Not for all, because some, they can fall into sin due to temptation. So it's case by case, not for everybody. So now, reading on, it says, and blessed the eunuch, which with his hands hath wrought no iniquity, nor imagined wicked things against God. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith, and an inheritance in the temple of the Lord, more acceptable to his mind. So now, it's saying in his case, he's blessed, because he hasn't put himself in a space to move in a way that would cause him to be defiled. So he had to wrought any iniquity. And the biggest iniquity dealing with these things are things of adultery and fornication. That's the biggest things that it's dealing with. Okay, when it's making mention of these things, that these are the things that, hey, I haven't worked in that regard in terms of me, being fornicated, sleeping around, macking up, kissing on these people, fondling these people. I'm not doing it. I'm not involved in any of that, because that's what happens. People start, well, we didn't have sex, but we did this. That's still a problem too. That's still fornication. You're taking the lesser, people say the lesser evil, but it's still evil. So, nor imagine wicked things against God, because you have that too. Some people, they become discontent with their circumstances. And, I don't see why God just don't give me somebody now. If I could just have somebody like this, I'll be all right. And you start blaming God for yourself. Oh, God don't want me to be happy. God don't want me to have this. Like, nah, that ain't the case. So, and it says, for unto him shall be given the special gift of faith, and an inheritance in the temple of the Lord, more acceptable to his mind. That, hey, if you endure, that's what you're going to receive at a later time. It may seem forever, but remember, this life is short. Look how fast the last 5 years of your life probably flew by. Fast, right? Last 10 years of your life probably flew by. Fast, right? So it's the same moving forward. That time is only going to seem like it's getting faster and faster. So next thing you know, either kingdom come or you out of here. If you would have moved appropriately according to righteousness, you have a blessing waiting for you. So now, let's continue. Verse 15, it says, for glorious is the fruit of good labors. That's what we have to understand. The fruit is the product of good labors. Good things according to the Most High God. It says, look, that is glorious, okay? The product of that is something that is glorious. It says, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. That root is what anchors you. That anchor, that root, you're going to have it. It's strong. That law is always going to be there to help keep you grounded and rooted. Verse 16, as for the children of adulterers, because see, that's what we're dealing with. That's the flip side of it. That's why it's given this correlation. We're still dealing with the same thing that we were from verse 11. It's still dealing with the same thing. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection. So now it's given for those who have abstained from fornication and adultery, the men and women that, hey, you've kept yourself from it. You stayed just clear out of the race. Said, nah, I'm good. Shalom, brother. Hey, sis, I'm actually good. I ain't even looking for that, okay, just, and hey, shalom, sis, I was wondering, brother, I'm just not, I'm good with me. Hey, they stayed clear out of the way. So ain't no oops, accidents. Nope. I remain solid in my calling, and I'm good. So, but now it's getting the flip side. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. So, if you're moving in adultery by the biblical definition is a man that has sexual relations with a married woman. Okay, a man that has sexual relations with a married woman. So if you're a man, you shouldn't be messing around with a woman that is married or in a committed relationship. So need to be what nation they are, what they believe. Okay, remember, God's laws of marriage given to the whole earth. So it doesn't matter. Adultery is adultery. No, if you're a woman, you're in that committed relationship. You go outside of that committed relationship, that is a problem. So with the Most High God, that is a problem. So he doesn't like that. So now, that's what we're dealing with. So as for the children that come of those situations, because you have children that happen in them situations, as for them, how does God feel? Is they shall not come to their perfection. So they're not going to come to their perfection. So, and as it says, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. That they're not going to be everything that they can be, because they're already coming into, they're being brought into this world through a wicked situation and circumstance. They're already starting off cursed. They're already starting off in a baby mom, baby daddy drama type situation. They're already starting off in chaos. They're already starting off in being a product of scorn, because the reality is that child is hated, because that child was made out of wedlock. Even before that child is born, it's hated. So let me say, well, how? Because you have men and women that are upset that you acted outside of marriage and you got someone else pregnant outside of marriage. You became pregnant outside of that marriage union. That man went and laid with the woman that was already in a committed relationship. What is that going to do to that relationship? It's going to damage it. She could already had a child or two in her marriage, and now this child from someone outside of the marriage. That's a problem, and that's a problem. So this is what it's dealing with. That child is already coming to a cursed situation. 17. For though they live long, because even when someone said, like, man, well, my grandma came through that, my dad came through that. Well, it gives the balance. For though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded. It gives that. In their last age shall be without honor. So even at the end, were they really honorable? According to the law, according to the Most High. It said even then, their last should be without honor. 18. Or if they die quickly. See, it gives a different scenario where they live long. Or if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. I said, man, a lot of times, because you're already coming in through a product of unrighteousness, it's going to be even that much harder for you to maintain righteousness. And you say, well, how so? Because a lot of times, even look at things today, we especially now, we find more ways to validate what it is we do than to accept the wrong we've done. So we try to make every excuse and things in it, but it was this, I was tired, I was lonely, it was this. And so we find ways to cover for our sins instead of confessing and forsaking our sins. Not knowing we teach not only ourselves that practice, deceive ourselves, but we pass it on to our kids.
our kids become not only a mirror image of us, but they become even worse. The next generation becomes even worse because they learned your wickedness and then they added to it. And then next thing you know, you didn't raise a spawn of Satan even worse than yourself, and not even knowing it, and not even knowing that, damn, the BS I was on, I taught to my child, and now they on, and they done made it worse. But I was trying to do it, thinking I'm saving face and trying to clean up my own doo doo instead of being open and honest. Like, hey, look, I did not do right by your mother in the situation, and I'm reaping what I sowed years ago, or hey, I didn't do right by your father in this situation. Now I'm reaping what I sowed. A lot of people, they're not doing that. They're finding, well, if she would have done this or if he would have did that, and trying to validate what it is that they've done when that doesn't justify it. It doesn't justify it. So, but yet and still, we have every excuse in the book to try to come up to try to clear our names, and you're not doing yourself or the next generation a favor, or good service. So that's why it's dealing with it becomes a domino effect, similar to like even when you have a young child, if they start stealing little things, you don't correct that behavior. Them little things, what may have been that cookie, out of the cookie jar or cabinet nowadays, or whether it's that gum out of grandma purse, and then it start becoming nickels and dimes, and start becoming dollar bills and credit cards, and then I start taking candy out of shop. It grows. That spirit grows because they're learning it. It becomes the same with other sins as well. So it starts to become a pattern. So more than likely, the same way that you was probably fornicating, moving around, your kids will probably end up moving the same way, if not worse. And they become that much more wicked in terms of what it is that you was on and what you was doing. So now, let's continue. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 1. It continues. Better it is to have no children and to have virtue, for the memorial thereof is immortal, because it is known with God and with men. Because some people might think, because it's true, the scriptures do say true, it is a blessing to have children. But when weighed in the balance, that, man, they got kids, but their kids is bad, versus, man, I ain't got kids, but I have a good reputation. Which one is better? Let you know, better it is to have no children and to have virtue. It's better than to deal with a lot of them adulterous and fornication situation, baby mama, baby daddy. It's better, man, to have no kids. You ain't dealing, but you virtuous. You right. At least you right. That's a beautiful thing, because at least people can say, hey, that's a good brother. That's a good sister. They're solid. And even with that, it's still a situation, like it says, the memorial thereof is immortal. That memory that you're going to set, and that honor, that dignity, it's going to be immortal, because it's going to be written within the Most High's book that he's going to crown you with everlasting life and give you an everlasting reward because of such. And it also says, because it is known with God and with men. Because the reality is that if you're truly moving virtuously, people are going to see it. Whether they like it, love, or hate it, they're going to see it. And it's going to start to be known that, yeah, that person's straight up. They solid. And guess what? The Most High is going to know for a fact, nah, that's a good one right there. That's a good one. That's one I approve of. Excuse me. Verse 2. When it is present, and that's when what it's dealing with is virtue. When virtue is present, men take example at it. People, they're going to watch you. Not everyone's going to speak directly to you on it, but people will observe you. And they're going to talk to you about with somebody. But hopefully it's going to be the good things, Usually it's going to be the good qualities, but you are going to have some that are going to hate on you. Oh, she just thinks she just got it together. She just good and so polite and well spoken, and anybody want to hear that. So you're going to have your haters.
Oh, he just think he just on time. We're just kissing up. Just he gonna be on time all the time, and he hard worker. So, man, I'm trying to do my job good. Trying to do my job good, and man, anybody got time for that. So,
You're gonna have people that in various fields need to be friends, family, coworkers that aren't going to always respect you or like that you're trying to be better and do better as an individual. So, and be an example. Everyone's not going to like that. But they are going to see it, and it's still going to be something commendable nevertheless. And you're going to have others, they are going to see it, and they're truly going to love you for it. They're truly going to respect and honor you for the excellence that they see on you. So, and it says, men take example at it, and when it is gone, they desire it. See, that's the thing too. When it's gone, not necessarily always saying that you personally don't have it, but being like a situation where sometimes they realize the grass ain't green on the other side. When they look at, sometimes they hate your good behavior, your solid record, but then when you leave or you move on, you get promoted. It's like, dang, I wish so-and-so was still here, because man, they got this done good. Man, they did a good job with this. Man, they cleaned this area up. Now it's like, man, they didn't let it go to trash. Now we got so-and-so here and get on my nerves. It's like now they get someone who's far worse than what you were. Now they kind of miss you. Now they kind of liked when you was there. So, because now, shoot, it ain't the same, because that good spirit that you brought, it ain't there. So even though they didn't like it, but a lot of times people don't like it because they envy you for having it. The glory that you get, the honor that you get, that's a lot of time what they want, which they can have. They just don't put in the time, the work, and the diligence to operate in that fashion and get it. So now, it says, and when it is gone, they desire it. It weareth a crown and triumpheth forever, having gotten the victory, striving for undefiled rewards. See, that's the thing. Virtue in itself is a reward, is a trophy. So, because it will help you excel in life, both this life and the afterlife and the next life. It's going to set you up for success with the Most High God. That's a beautiful thing. So, and like I said, it's going to set you up to be able to be worthy to receive the kingdom of heaven. Let's get verse 3. But, now let's get in the flip side, on the opposite end. But the multiplying brood of the ungodly shall not thrive. That's great. It said the multiplying brood. It's talking about that horde that you have, that wolf pack, all them kids you got. Because you got some people like, man, they be having kid after kid after kid. And you be like, man, they must be blessed. Yeah, they blessed. But it doesn't mean necessarily that they're blessed by the Most High God in terms of him trying to better their lives, and he's working with them and trying to work all these good things through them. Doesn't necessarily mean that. Because remember, Satan gives out blessings too. So, let's read. But the multiplying brood of the ungodly shall not thrive. It said, but then the ungodly, their brood, all them kids, they're not going to thrive or be successful in the same way. And as it says, yet standing not fast, they shall be shaken with the wind, and through the force of winds they shall be rooted out. So now what it's dealing, verse 3. But the multiplying brood of the ungodly shall not thrive, nor take deep rooting from bastard slips, nor lay any fast foundation. So that's what it's saying. It said, look, at the end of the day, You can have all them kids, but they not finna grow up and probably the way you probably think. And you see that. A lot of our young people getting either killed or incarcerated. You have a lot of those things happening that's taking a lot of them out because they're not moving right. And a lot of them, usually you see it, the less noble they are, the less dignified and honorable they are, the more likely they are to end up in those situations. That's part of the product that it's dealing with. So that's part of what it is you're going to have. Because generally those with more nobility, they're trying to teach their kids more godly principles and things to be mindful and aware of. Whereas those who aren't as noble, and may be more, as one would say, ghetto or ratchet, they're not teaching them principles. So they're more likely to fall susceptible to these various pit holes that ultimately will be their demise, one way or another. So now, and as it says, even verse 4, for though they flourish in branches for a time, can you see that? Well, shoot. Well, some I see they get it. They get the bag. They grew up. They made it to 25, 35, 40. They doing all right. It says, for though they flourish in branches for a time, yet standing not fast, they shall be shaken with the wind. And through the force of winds, they shall be rooted out. So, at the end of the day, don't let the temporary success fool you. So, the Most High God is long suffering. So, he can get you for something at 50 that you did at 40. So, you never know how the Most High is going to work things to allow ultimately his judgment to play out. Because the Most High God, he can work and get you, or he's this one I ain't gonna get them. I ain't gonna get him. I ain't gonna get her. I'm gonna get your kids. I know that will affect you more. So I'll wait. I'll sit back, and because sometimes Most High let you as you were, and you thought you was getting away with things in your teens, your 20s, your 30s. I said, oh yeah, I got you. You want to go around and fornicate, commit adultery. Okay, I'm gonna let you have a daughter, and see how you feel when your daughter done that way. Okay. Oh, you want to lie, defame, and cheat, a good man? Okay, I'm going to let you have a son. I'm going to let him get done that way. You going to risk putting people in danger? You want to put, people's lives in danger? All right, I'm going to let someone put your kids' lives in danger. Most High get you back in multiple ways. It's a cold game. That's why the scriptures say, hey, be mindful, because you are on earth and he is in heaven. He can have a field day with you all day, every day, all year, every year, to get you to repent or see what it is he wants you to see, or sit back and, all right, your judgment coming. But he ain't like, man, I ain't got to get you back today, tomorrow, next week, next month. Nah, I get you back next 5 years. I got you. I get you back next 10 years. I got you. I get you back next 15 years. I got you. That's what people say. Hey, karma. But it's judgment. It's God. Hey, what goes around comes around. But it's the Most High God. He's all right. I got it. You ain't got away with nothing. Just the illusion. You thinking you getting away with stuff. Most High, I'm gonna get you in the soft spot. So I'm gonna get you where it hurt, because I know how to get you. So now, verse 5. The imperfect branches shall be broken off, their fruit unprofitable, not ripe to eat, yea, meat for nothing. That's what he said. He said, man, them imperfect branches, them bad kids that didn't get right, whether they be teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, he said, hey, yeah, they're not going to make it. And ultimately, remember, the Most High ultimate judge, he let you think you get away with things when, hey, in the next life, I got you. You ain't making it. So, you thinking you getting away. Read on, verse 6. It says, for children begotten of unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents in their trial. What does that mean? What is that saying? That's letting you know when it comes down to judgment, when we're dealing with judgment, we sometimes lose track and take it for granted. That judgment, there's a literal part of being judged that has to happen, no different than a court session. You have to be judged. Judge, jury, executioner style. Okay. And guess what? Some of them spirits that are going to be called on your behalf are going to be some of the very children that you had, both those you raised and some of them that you aborted, that got aborted. Oh yeah, them go because that happened too. People get pregnant, get abortions, and so it's them too. Not only baby daddy, baby mama kids, but also them aborted kids. That's what it's saying. For children begotten of unlawful beds, the children that got pregnant through adulterous situations, fornication type situations, it said are witnesses. They are witnesses. Because you got to think about it. Remember, we think age physical, but that spirit, that spirit always grown. That spirit, remember, that spirit still holds that information. So that spirit will be called. This is the child you ain't even give a name yet, but that's the spirit that was there. So that's going to be called on to speak on you and your posterity and what you did and didn't do. So now, read on. It said, against their parents in their trials, verse 7. But though the righteous be prevented with death, yet shall he be in rest. So now, it gives the flip side. You can have people that are righteous, and they died. Similar as we covered in the beginning of verse 3. So now, verse 7, it says, but though the righteous be prevented with death, though the righteous, you're going to have at times that the righteous, they're prevented from living what we would think long, healthy lives because they died. They got shot and killed. They got in a bad car accident. They got, murdered. So they didn't ultimately have that long life of years in this world. And we just think, oh, that was it. Dang, why that happened to them? That's it. But though the righteous be prevented with death, yet shall he be in rest. Most I said, don't worry. They're resting. Okay, I know that this brothers were righteous before they were taken out ultimately, which was within my power. I allowed to happen. That's okay. They're okay. Verse 8. For unless this is why. Listen to this, very important. For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time. Remember that, because we always think honorable age is all right. They 60 plus, or they 50 plus, they 70. They reach the honorable age. Like, man, you how old? Man, you look good, man. And we thinking that always be the biggest thing. Scripture said, nah, not so. For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, that, I have all these years, nor that is measured by number of years. That ain't the case. All this time. Verse 9, I got all this live time on this earth. That ain't always necessarily what we want to make it to be. Verse 9, but wisdom is the gray hair unto men. It says, but wisdom, all the time the gray hair unto men. And an unspotted life is old age. So when you actually live an unspotted life, unspotted meaning there's a lack of blemish. There's no blemish on you. That blemish being brought about through sin. You're living a life that is sin free. You're living a life that you're not moving in iniquity, and so you're not choosing to live life as an adulterer, fornicator, thief, and murder, so on and so forth. You're not doing any of those things. And if you did do it, you're repenting to where, I don't want any blemish on me, no spot on my name. I'm trying to move like the Most High want me to move. So it says, an unspotted life is old age. If you move like that, that's what becomes old age. That's because old age, again, it gives you the hint, like it said. That's that's the honorable age. Like it says, 8, for honorable age is not that which stand in length of time. That's what it does. That honorable age is that unspotted life. You made it to maturity. That maturity is righteousness. That's truly what you being honorable, what you being aged, what you being wise truly looks like. how many years on this earth is it going to take you to become righteous? Sincerely, wholeheartedly. How long is that going to take you? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years? Will you ever? Never? So did you ever reach an honorable age? Because it's not just about, people think just because you're old, nah, that ain't the case. So it can be commendable that, hey, you were able to live that many years, but you don't want to be known that you was foolish in your 20s and you still foolish in your 60s. You don't want to be like that. So it's good to say, hey, wisdom is gathered from youth up, that you can find it in your old age. If you ain't been gathering, you ain't gonna have it stored up when you need it. Same. If you ain't been sowing them seeds, you ain't gonna have no fruit to reap later on. It ain't just something I start getting older and older, and I just start getting automatically wiser. It ain't just, oh, my 30th, 40th, 50th, 60th birthday, now I'm wise. It don't work like that. You have to actually apply yourself in life and learn from mistakes, change behaviors, and learn how to deal it, and then you become wiser through these various experiences. So not just because I've been on earth, it's a help, but it doesn't mean you've learned those things throughout your time just simply being on earth. You have to actually apply yourself. So now, look at so many other things. You can go through life, never learn how to be a mechanic, never learn how to be a plumber, never learn how to be a carpenter. Now I understand you never learn, and it's the same with other things. You may never learn how to be patient, may never learn how to be humble, may never learn how to have discipline, sexual discipline, mental discipline, spiritual, physical, you name it. Now, verse 10, it says, he pleased God and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners, he was translated. And that translation being you passing from this life to the next, regardless of how those means may happen. It's still inclusive of one being stabbed, shot, ran over, still you being translated from this physical to now the spiritual. So he pleased God and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners, he was translated. Verse 11, yea, speedily was he taken away. Sometimes you have that. Like, dang, he was just, he got in a car accident like that? Or dang, he got shot and killed like that? Sometimes, yeah. But sometimes that's also the Most High's will. Sometimes, nah, I got to take you out quick. Why? Why would he do that? Let's keep reading. Verse 11. Yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul. So that's a big part of it. You get polluted. You get tainted to where you start getting caught up in all these different doctrines, all different faults. You start getting further and further away from righteousness. Sometimes the Most High, I put a plug on that one before they go too far and I can't redeem them. So, and you think, oh, you can redeem, make anything. Nah, it's checks and balances. We got to remember, just like our earth got checks and balances, what goes up must come down. The spirit got checks and balances. That, hey, I can't take you ain't clean your spirit up. Your spirit is all defiled. I can't just, clean everybody up no matter what. Certain thing I can't. That's it. That's what it was. That's why it says, yeah, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul. And now you moving in a totally different direction. You was moving this way, and you bust a 180, you going back the other way, completely. So Most High sometimes, nah, I can't allow that, because that's messing up your chance of salvation. So you got to think, would you rather Most High let you go and be down a deep path of wickedness, of no redemption? The Most High take you out before you even get that far. Now I gotta pull the plug early. I'd rather Most High pull the plug on me early, get me out of this world if I'm going down the wrong path, lest I go too far and I don't make it back far enough to be able to be worthy of salvation. And so Brother Most High, hey, you took me out while I was still redeemable. And you may have that. You may have people, that's the case. You know, young people that get taken out. So now it's, hey, they was going left. I had to get them before they went too far. So I had to take them out. So Most High, that's a blessing. That's what you call a merciful death. So he made it merciful. 12. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. And so many different words to break down. Half of that I can look up and get you in the dictionary. But I'll summarize what it is this is dealing with. That in short, the way this world is set up, man, there are so many things that can allure our minds and senses that we can believe to be good. Doctrine and things we can hear that seem to be right, and that can cause us to shift in our direction in terms of how we're moving and how we're walking in terms of our righteousness. Those things can corrupt us and cause us to go again further away from the Most High God. So but yet and still we believe we're still serving the Most High. We believe we're still doing right. But your doctrine that went from here to all the way over here, and somewhere in realms that the Most High is not with or approving of. And the Most High, I see you making change after change after change to where it's like, boy, if I don't take you out now, you're gonna be back down there back in the world. So I gotta make an executive decision. So, and I don't want this for you. So I'm not gonna allow you to go that far, because I've seen you to have good intentions. I've seen you to try to do things the right way, and I'm gonna take you out before it's too late. You know, so you can still be redeemed, because I still want this one in my kingdom. So I still want this one. So I'm gonna take this one out while you still got enough righteousness left for me to work with, for me to be able to judge you and say, yeah, this one can come with me. So still got to have that. So now, continuing on in verse 13, it says, he being made perfect in a short time fulfilled a long time. That's the key. And that should let you know a whole lot. You can become wise in a short period of time. It doesn't have to take you a long time to get there. It can, but it doesn't have to. You can learn these things in a shorter period of time. So what it doesn't have to necessarily take you 20, 30, 40 years to get certain things. You can get certain things faster and sooner by keeping the right company, studying the right things, and applying these things in your life. So to accomplish that, hey, I can fast forward my years in the level of wisdom that, hey, instead of me getting these things at 60, I got them by the time I was 40. Instead of getting these things by the time at 40, I got these things by the time I was 20. And you say, how? A big part of it is the instruction and tutelage that you receive, especially from your parents. You got to think, we're building things. We're trying to get the next generation right through kids. Kids actually should have an advantage because they have you as their teacher. You being there, you're supposed to be a help and aid unto your kids to give them the things that you've already learned and experienced. Hey, I went through this. This is how you should deal in this situation, or this is not how you should deal in this situation. So that is what helps them get ahead in life so that they can be more successful. That's what you ultimately should be doing with your kids. They'll prepare them so that way they can be a wiser version of yourself. Because a lot of times you ask, like, man, imagine if you would have learned this at this age. Imagine the thing that you learned at 40, 50, 60, if you got it at 30, 20, 10. So if you learned it that much sooner. And you have to continue to teach them so that they learn to be able to comprehend things. Yeah, if you have more kids, not all your kids will have learned sense. Some, they got to have boughts and they got to pay for it. But if you teach many of them, man, they'll train a child in the way in which they should go. When they're old, they will not depart, like the scripture said. If you teach them, they will, eventually get it. because you've been instilling it in them since they were so young. That's part of their foundation. That's the core. Their mind is gonna always revert back to whatever you instill. There's so many things you still have with where you're at in life that you recall your parents, grandparents, unks, aunties, influences in your life who they drilled some things in you to where you remember it like clockwork to this day. Man, Pops always said, man, Mom's always said, man, Uncle always said, Auntie always said, and that's like things that you hold as law in your mind or in your heart because it's been drilled into you. So now, let me continue on and let me see in verse 14. Oh, verse 13 again. So he being made perfect in a short time fulfilled a long time. So you can actually perfect yourselves righteously in wisdom in a short time to where the Most High, it's like as if, yeah, you 40, but you already lived like you was 80. So it's like, man, you perfected yourself. That's a beautiful thing. So now, verse 14. For his soul pleased the Lord. His soul pleased the Most High. Your soul got to be pleasing. Your whole essence, your spirit got to be pleasing the Most High. Mind, body, and spirit. That your whole essence was Most High. Like, man, I rock with this person. For his soul pleased the Lord. Therefore, hasted he to take him away from among the wicked. You have that. Most High make, man, this person, how they moving, I'm good with them. I'm good with this bro. I'm good with this sister, man. Hey, go ahead and have them take out it. Yeah, it's going to be a night robbery. Someone shot and killed her, but hey, it's going to be quick. You're going to be up there and you only scared for a few seconds and you get shot. Oh, help me. Hey, that wasn't no thing but a chicken wing. Your spirit out of there. That's quick. That's mercy. I'd rather go like that than something being suffering and agonizing something long. Remember, quick death is beautiful. Versus the scripture lets you know, man, death is better than than continual sorrow or long suffering, or continual sickness. So death is better than continual sickness or continual sorrow. Like, man, like to be in a state of perpetual dealing with is hell. Most High, he's like, man, I'm not trying to put you through continuous hell. I'm trying to get you quickly out of there. So it said, man, he hastened. So 14, for so please the Lord, therefore hasten he to take him away from among the wicked. So don't think just because some people that that they get taken out of this world and they seem good, that it's for bad. Like we read in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3, 1 through 7. So it ain't always bad. There's some cases where, all right, Most High want to make them suffer, but it ain't always bad. Other times it's, this is for good. So I don't want them to get corrupted anymore with this life. What could be on the horizon for them if I were to let them continue. I'm taking them out quick. Verse 15. This the people saw and understood it not. So these things, some people have seen this. Some of you guys have witnessed this, but yet you didn't quite understand it because you said, man, I don't know why God would take them out. They was in their prime or they was young or, and this is it. You understood it not. It said, neither laid they up this in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with his saints, and that he hath respect unto his chosen. That's the thing. Most High was being gracious. He was being merciful. Yeah, I did take him out young. That was intentional. Because in that time, they did the things that was enough for me to say, I accept them. And I didn't want them to spend a long time in this world that could remove that from them and put them in a state to where they would be abominable or defiled. So I wanted, now they were ripe. That fruit was ripe for the picking. I needed that. But that's not going to be everybody, of course. Even there's some who, yeah, they good, but I still need them to do this. They still got another mission for me. I still need them to help be an example unto these people. They gotta endure, but they are older. I know I picked this sister I picked this brother for the job. They gotta be an example, cause you gotta have that. I need some example virtuous sisters throughout the earth to be an example unto other sisters to help them know what virtue looks like. I need them to know, what does a patient sister look like? What does a patient wife look like? What does a patient mother look like? I need them to know what empathy looks like. I need them to know what motherhood looks like. I'm gonna use this sister as an example. These sisters need them to know what being a wife looks like. I'm gonna use these sisters. Same thing. I need them to know what being a husband, what a father looks like, what a good man looks like. I need these brothers. So some people, you got to bear your burden because you're still, you got to be here. Most times, nah, you got to be an example. I need you, because there's other people that are of my people that are going to need you. So you got to endure it. This is your burden. This is your lot. I need teachers. I need people to teach. They got to teach his word and help others so that they can see that guiding light of repentance. So now you got to be here. So not everybody's going to have that type of experience be taken out like that, even if they are worthy. Because some, Most High, I got a different mission for you. I have a different purpose for you. That ain't the purpose I have for you. That's what I got for them. I got somebody on that. It's like positions in a business. Everybody ain't the CEO or COO or CFO. Everybody can't work the front desk. So everybody ain't the janitor. But hey, somebody got to keep the place clean. All right, that's going to be you. Hey, somebody got to communicate. Somebody got to answer the phone and communicate. All right, got to be you. Somebody got to check emails. So everybody has a role to play. Now, like you said, his grace and mercy is with his saints, and that he have respect unto his chosen. Verse 16, thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living. In youth that is soon perfected, the many years in old age of the unrighteous. So that's what you're going to have. Some people, they're going to perfect themselves in their youth. That, hey, yeah, I may not have made it to, 80, 70, but hey, I got it right at 40. And it was as if I was, 70, 80 because of the things I changed. That's beautiful. That's what the Most High is pushing for. That, hey, in a short time, can you get it? That can you get these things right? Some can. Others, all right, I'm going to give you more time. You need it. And that's a beautiful thing. But with that, we'll leave off at Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 in verse 16. And we'll pick things back up, Most High permit, next Friday. Okay? So I hope you guys, got something out of this. And, you meditate on these words. Again, you can always like, share, subscribe, to the channel. And, with that, I say shalom.